Well, today we're having Asian-inspired Moroccan spicy chicken. So, make sure you keep watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe now. Or if you don't want to subscribe right now, wait until you see some of these recipes. See you in a minute.
I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you now. I'm living my best life.
Okay, everybody, how y'all feeling today? Everyone all right? First, I just want to tell you the ingredients we're going to be working with today for this fantastic, yummy, mouth-watering, juicy, spicy chicken. First, today, I'm using some chicken legs and some chicken thighs. Then you're going to need some olive oil. You're going to need about a tablespoon of olive oil. Then you're going to need some kosher salt. And you basically just salt it to taste. Then you're going to need some black pepper. You could either use the pepper that's already ground, or you could use the pepper that you grind yourself. Then you're going to need some ginger. Now, you can use fresh grated ginger in this recipe, but today I'm using ground ginger. You're also going to need some garlic chili sauce. You're going to need 3 cloves of chopped garlic. You're also going to need some sesame oil. I would say about a ½ teaspoon of sesame oil. This is really strong. You're going to need some brown sugar. You're going to need about 1/4 cup of brown sugar. You're going to need a ½ cup of soy sauce. You're going to need about a tablespoon of adobo, all-purpose seasoning with pepper, con pimienta. Here's the soy sauce. You're going to need about 1/3 of this lime. You can use 1/3 or 1/2. It depends on how much of a lime taste you want in it. But this lime is really big, so I'm just going to use 1/3. Then you're going to need about a ½ cup of ketchup. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your kosher salt and you're going to just put it in to taste. Like, you're going to just put in how much you want to put in. It's no special amount. If there are people who really have to have a measurement, I would say a tablespoon and a half. If you don't eat salt at all, then no salt. And if you need a measurement for the pepper, I would say pepper to taste as well. But if you need a measurement for the pepper, I would say about a half. Well, for the fresh ground pepper, I would say about a ½ teaspoon.
A few moments later.
This could really get tiring. Okay, so I'm just going to take this spoon. I don't feel like putting my hands in the chicken today. I'm going to take this spoon, but you can use your hands or you could use gloves. But you know what I'm going to do? Since I didn't really get the salt and pepper on the other side, I'm just going to put a little drop on that side. Normally, you could just run your hands through it, and so it can, so you can blend it together really good. My hand still hurts. It's really hard for me to cook because the problem I had with my hand, I found out the name of it. It's something that has to do with the tendons coming from my wrist up to my thumb, between my thumb and my pointer. It's like they are ripped or they're swollen or something. but I found out the name of it today. I don't have the paper in front of me, and I'm not going to try to remember the name. But it really hurts when I try to do stuff with my dominant hand, which is my right hand. Okay, so that's about mixed up. And now we're going to get our frying pan ready. Oh, you're going to need a frying pan and a crock pot. A slow cooker is a crock pot. Not necessarily, but you're going to need a slow cooker. Okay. So now you're going to put your adobo in there. I would say about a tablespoon and a half. So 1.5 tablespoons of adobo. Are you writing this down? If you need me to put this recipe down below, let me know. Stir that up. Okay, so right now, what we're going to do is we're going to get a bowl so that we can make the sauce that goes on top of it. So first, we're going to put our 1/2 cup of soy sauce. Then we're going to put our 1/2 cup of ketchup. Then we're going to put our brown sugar. About 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I'm just going to use the same bowl to pour it into. Well, this is about 1/2 cup of brown sugar. You can use 1/4 cup, 1/2 cup, or you could use honey. A lot of my recipes that you see me using brown sugar with, you can substitute it with honey. Next, you're going to put your garlic in. Your 3 cloves of garlic. And I'm going to put in about 1/2 teaspoon of ginger. Then I'm going to put in my 1/4 teaspoon of sesame oil. That looked like about 1/2 teaspoon, right? It's really hard for me to give instructions on how much to use because I've been eyeballing it most of my life. But as I said, you can use about 1/4 teaspoon of the sesame oil. Next, you could use a tablespoon of the garlic chili sauce, which my tablespoon can't fit in a jar. Use a heaping tablespoon. This is not a regular measuring spoon, but this is a heaping tablespoon. Now you're supposed to whisk it together. Let me smell it. Wow, it has a toasty, Asian infused chili type smell. Not really chili as in when you make chili, but as in other Chilean dishes. Make sure you whisk it really, really, really good. Okay, now it's time to put the chicken into the oil, into the pan and brown it. Now we're gonna put the fire on the medium fire. About like that. And of course, every time I get ready to cook, I always rinse my utensils. I rinse my pots and pans and I rinse my dishes before I use them. Even though they're clean, it's just a thing. Okay, now that the water has dissipated out of my frying pan, I told you 1 tablespoon of olive oil. I'm just going to put it in to coat the bottom of the pan. That's about a tablespoon right there. We're going to wait for this to heat up. And remember, olive oil heats up fast. And what we're going to do now is we're going to start taking our chicken and just sitting it in the pan so that we can brown both sides. Okay, so we're just going to let that brown on both sides. I would say check in about 4 minutes. Now about 5 minutes have gone by and I think it's time to turn it over. We just want to brown it. We're not cooking it all the way in the pan. Now we're going to just let the other side brown some. You're also going to need 4 scrubbed clean potatoes. I'm just going to cut up my potatoes in the cutting board, in the colander, but you can use a cutting board if you like. I might have to use a cutting board because my hand is not strong enough. I'm just going to use this cutting board. Just going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to cut it almost wedge-like. I'm going to cut each potato in 6 pieces. Okay, so the chicken is just about browned. Since I don't like all the starchiness on the potatoes, I rinse them off after I cut them up earlier. So now, you see I have a crock pot, which is also a slow cooker. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to layer the potatoes with the skin on in the bottom of the crock pot. I'm just going to take the chicken and place it on top of the potatoes. Just like this, you all. Just like this, y'all. Like this, y'all. Like this, like this, like this, y'all. Okay, so now that we have our potatoes and our chicken in the crock pot, we're going to take our 1/3 lime and we're going to squeeze it Wait a minute. This is too big for my squeezer. I'm going to have to cut it in half. So I'm just going to squeeze all the juice out of this lime into the sauce. And then we're going to whisk it in there. Oops, I'm making a mess, aren't I? We're going to whisk it in there. Whisk, whisk. I love whisking stuff. Do you? You all tell me if you like whisking stuff too. What's your favorite? Is it the electric mixer, a whisker, or a regular spoon? So now we're going to just take this sauce and pour it or spoon it over the chicken that's in the crock pot. Now, you can stir it a little bit, but don't worry, because as it starts cooking, that sauce is going to permeate on down to all the rest of the ingredients in this crock pot. Now you just cover it, and if you put it on low, cook it for 6 hours, but guess what? You could put it on high and cook it for only 2 hours. When you cook it on low for 6 hours, you could go do other things. Some people have it on for 6 to 8 hours so they could go to work. But right now, I'm going to put it on high. So this could be ready in 2 hours. All right. See you in a minute. Okay, guys. So it's been cooking for actually 3 hours. Number one, I fell asleep. And number two, I wanted to say, okay, let it cook for 3 hours so it could be really, really nice and tasty. So let's get a reveal. Dun, 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 dun. There you go. It looks so delicious. And we're also going to get a taste of it. So let's just stay tuned for that. This is so tender. Look at the potato. The potato, you could just pull it off just like that. And we're going to get a good taste of this too. Here it is, guys. And it smells so good. You can smell the sesame oil. And you can smell the chili sauce. And the potatoes. Look at the potatoes. The potatoes are so soft. Let me just taste one for you. Oh, it's kind of hot. I'm going to have to wait for it to cool off for a minute. You could just taste all the spices permeated into the potatoes. The chicken juice. Let me taste the chicken. The chicken is so tender, it just fell onto my fork. It's so tender. You can taste the soy sauce. I mean, you can taste a little drop of each ingredient, and it's just all blended together into one flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and sit down to eat this. And I want you to comment down below on what you think of this recipe, if you'll ever try it. If you want to come to my house and have some. And I thank you all for watching. And don't forget to subscribe and press the notification bell, because there's going to be a lot more recipe videos coming up and some other fun stuff too. So give this video a big thumbs up. And I love you all, and see you next time. Manja.